Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, a top 10 to mention.
Regrets, we've made some mistakes.
Is it Enya?
3, 2, 1, go.
Joke's on you, Nick. It was Bjork. Everyone knows that standard that Bjork did once upon a time. Everybody, I'm Mike.
I'm Nick.
We're the brothers Murph, and we're here to talk about 10 games that we regret culling. These are games that we had, we played, we said, that'll do, pig.
Yeah.
And now we're like, I wish that pig was back in my life.
I wish that pig was in my life. Yeah, these are games that we got rid of that we're kind of like looking back, we're like, I kind of wish we still had them. I regret getting rid of that one. This actually is a list that our good friends Monique and Naveen over at Before You Play did, and we asked, we're like, hey, do you mind if we do our own list of that? Because I really love that list. And we were like, oh, that's a good idea for a list.
So check out, there should be a card or in the description of this video, a link to their video, which is fantastic. You should
amazing
playthroughs.
They're incredible.
Subscribe to Before You Play. They're absolutely wonderful people. But yeah, we have some games we want to talk about that we're like, you know what, if I came across this again for the right price, I'd rebuy it.
We would rebuy it. So we're going to get our top 10. Before we do, make sure to like this video, thumb it up. It's honestly the best way to tell us that you're enjoying the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Write a comment. What's a game that you regret getting rid of? I think everyone's got one.
Pop those in the
You're
comments.
like, I could have kept that. I could have kept
Didn't
that.
need to get
It
rid
was
of that.
small. Did it take up that much space? I don't know. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and get number 10.
Number 10 is an awesome dexterity game that we really have enjoyed.
And this was our one thrift store gem.
This is the one game we found at a thrift store that was amazing. It's Ice Cool.
Yeah.
It's a game where you're playing these little weighted penguins and you're flicking them around. And because they're weighted at the bottom, they can jump and spin and do turns and all sorts of stuff. And you're trying to flick them through a school.
Yeah, they're
and
high
collect
schools.
Fish.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of fish at a high school. A bunch of penguins. You know how it is.
Yeah. You know how it is.
And they're trying to eat fish and stuff and bonk into each other and mess each other up. It's a game that had a lot of cool stuff going for it because the whole box unfolds and becomes the board that you play in. Those weighted bits are really fun, and it's really one that like I don't quite know why we got rid of, to be honest.
I don't remember either. I think it's probably because we're like, we never played this,
which
is a fair reason to get rid of games.
But it's so unique, and we're like, what?
And that's why it's on the list, because I'm like, this is a game that I especially would love to pull out with like non-gamers, kids.
I have a daughter.
School.
Pause here for cuteness effect.
Look at her.
I could play this with that person.
Exactly. Probably not right now.
No, definitely not right now.
Soon, and it's like one of those things where I was like, that's such a unique little dexterity game that like, we probably just should have kept it. There's a couple things where I'm like, why didn't we just keep that? Just because it's like, sometimes I think it's fair to keep a game. You're like, this is different. And I'm going to keep it for that reason. And it's cool to pull out with people because people can be like, whoa, what is this? Like, I've never seen a game like this before.
It fills a niche that we don't have in the rest of our collection.
Yeah, Penguin High School games. We need more of them.
Not enough of those,
We've been
folks.
saying it.
Not of those.
So Ice Cool's our number 10. We really, really like it. Honestly, I'm like, we probably could have kept that one. So,
we made
number 10, Ice Cool. Let's get to number 9. Number 9 is a game that we did not... It's on this list because I don't think we gave this one a fair chance.
Yeah, this is a lockup from Thunderworks game, and this is a game that we honestly just didn't give its fair due.
We played it
and
once.
I have some guilt about it.
We played it once at 2-player, and I don't think this game is great at 2-player.
This is kind of like an area control game. So you want to play it at a 3 and 4 player.
You're trying to break out of a prison and stuff like that. And you're
really
like, you're
cool
set in the role player universe with a bunch of like kobolds and stuff like that. And it's like a really cool idea. I like the theme of just kind of like these like kobolds trying to break out of prison.
Cool.
Yeah, it looked great. And like we got it and we tried it and we were kind of like, I don't really like that. And we just never tried it again. We had it for probably a year after we tried it that one time and then just got rid of it. And here's the thing. Maybe we would try it again and we're like, yeah, no, we should call this. And maybe it would have gotten cold anyway, but it's one of those games where like, I really feel like we did not give this game a fair shake.
Yeah.
So, I mean, here's the thing. It might have ended up on a future cold list, but when we called it, I do regret because I'm like, this is a game that's cool. And I think we did not give this game a fair shot.
We didn't give it its fair due. We didn't play the game in the way that was meant to be intended and then judged it based on that. And I'm kind of like, well, some games just don't scale well down to 2 players, but that doesn't mean it's not a good game. Maybe, and the thing is, we just don't know the answer to the question of like, is it our kind of game or not? And we got rid of it. So we're kind of like, you know what? That's not fair to that game.
No, we should try. And who knows? Down in the comments, let us know. Do you like Lockup? Do you like it? I think it's kind of got some people love it, some people don't. But nonetheless, I do really want to try it again. It's a game I'm actively like seeking out to try like a convention because I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like we're like, nope, done, and just like we probably could have given that one another shot. We probably could have, treated it a little better than that. But nonetheless, number 9, that's Lockup.
So number 8 is a word game that we got rid of because you're not a fan of it. Yeah. I'm a fan of it. It's called Paperback.
Yeah.
Now this again goes into the reason we regret getting rid of this is because
I'm the one who advocated for this to be on the list.
Yes.
Even though I don't like this game.
Right, and I was like, Nick's not going to want this on the list because you don't like this game.
Yeah.
But you made a good point about uniqueness in a collection. This is a deck building game where you are drafting or you're buying and building out hands of words with the cards you have that have different letters on them.
You're buying letter cards,
You're buying letter cards. And you're hoping to build bigger and better and more valuable words, kind of like Scrabble where an X is going to be worth more than an A.
Yeah.
And you are trying to then use the kind of like currency that you gain from building this word to buy better cards or buy these kind of scoring cards which time out the game and give you your biggest hit of points and stuff. Yeah. And so this is one that, to your point, is just like really unique. It's a deck building word game.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's really cool. Like, we don't have any of those games in our collection. And I think it was the reason I really liked that game from the very beginning. I do have the app of it still, but you were saying that's one we regret because like we don't have anything like that.
Yeah, and it's one of those situations where like I'm a big advocate for like don't play games you don't like, right? Like and it's one of those situations like don't force yourself to play games you don't like. Life's too short for that. Don't play stuff you don't like.
That's me and Archmage.
Yeah,
keep
exactly.
wanting to, and Nick's just like
it's
don't
at
play,
my house because Mike does like Archmage. Yeah. But it's one of those things where it's like Paperback is one of the games I don't like any word games because I'm just not good at them and they make me feel stupid. Frankly, it's just what it is. So like big fan of word games. I'm not good at Paperback. I'm always like I have if, and everyone else has like, you know, according.
Yeah.
And I'm just like
axiom. And you're like, damn.
Cool. I have if. I have Bob. That's not a word. You know, but it's one of the things where it's just like, so I'm just not good at it. And so I think I was really pushing for like, let's get rid of it. I don't like this game. I don't want it in the collection. Let's get rid of it. But one, it's like not very big. If it's a small game, it has a better chance of getting kept, right?
Yeah.
But then on top of that, I was just like, man, I honestly think, despite me not liking Paperback, I honestly think Paperback is one of the coolest concepts for a game. Like a deck builder where you're essentially buying and purchasing letter cards, and then you just get a random assortment of cards. You then have to like build that. And again, a lot of word games, you get a random assortment of letters, but this one just works so well. I just don't really like it, but it's one of the things I was like, man, we should have kept it because this is a game that goes over so well with so many different people.
Yeah.
Especially we have people who love like Wordle nowadays. You're like, oh, you love Wordle? Let's play this game called Paperback, and I'll probably go do something else. But nonetheless, it's one of those things where it's just like, I'm like, we should have kept this because I think this is very appealing to a lot of different people, even if it's not personally appealing to me.
Sure.
And so, Paperback, if I found it cheap somewhere, I'd probably get it, even though I don't really like that game that much.
Respect, and I like it and we're happy to have it again.
Yeah.
So that is number 8, Paperback. Let's get number 7.
Number 7 is a game that I feel like I just never got when I played it, and I played a couple times. That's Tiny Epic Galaxies. We got this one, and we're kind of like, we were kind of like, I don't know if I like this one, and we just kind of got rid of it randomly.
Yeah.
And for the sole reason, the fact that it is quite small. Why did we get rid of this game?
I don't know, man. We got Cull Happy once upon a time. I think I like this more than you did, and like I soloed it a fair bit and stuff like that. And yeah, this is one that we regret simply because you're like, it doesn't take up, it can fit in your pocket basically.
Yeah.
Like you can find some spot to stuff it on a shelf, you know, it's not taking up a Cadillac.
Spaces, yeah.
So yeah, this is one that I'm like, I think out of the Tiny Epic games, which are like not our favorite games generally, we do enjoy some of them. I think
they're all fine.
I think it was probably my favorite one. Maybe like Tiny Epic Dinosaurs.
For the most part, people consider it to be the best of them.
Yeah, and so I'm like, man, we got rid of the one that we liked the best.
Yeah, and this is another game kind of like Lockup where I'm like, I feel like I just either didn't get it when I played it or didn't give it a fair try. Because I've definitely played it, I've obviously played it once. I think I played it one more time after that, but I think that's it. I think I've never played it after that. And I think for whatever reason, I was just like, I don't get this. This isn't working for me. It was also years ago now. So it's just like, I'd probably be, I don't know. It just, for this one, kind of like, why did we get rid of it? Especially because like, it's small. Like, why did we get rid of it?
It's kind of silly. I mean, they have Tiny Epic Galaxies like Blast Off, which is like usually like Barnes & Noble. It's around $20. So I think it's one that'd be worth in reinvesting in because it's not going to be a lot of money.
No, right?
To try it again. But yeah, Tiny Epic Galaxies is one that I do enjoy. And again, I soloed it a fair bit, kind of like on my lunch breaks and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, well, I got some good play out of that. Maybe I should try it again. Maybe I played it out. I don't know anymore. The point is, I'm thinking about it more. I keep seeing it at the store, and I'm like, maybe you should go right on back into the collection. So
maybe it will.
We'll see. That one might make an entry. But that is Tiny Epic Galaxies at number 7.
Let's get at number 6.
So So number 6 is a game that I feel like I regret because it's one that is really good to pull people into the hobby. This is Champions of Midgard.
Yeah.
Now, we had, like, everything for this
Ours
game.
was tricked out.
We had
all the upgrades,
cool bits, upgraded stuff, the expansions, the neoprene mat. We had all of the stuff for this game.
Everything, yeah.
Which meant it was really cool when we did a giveaway with it because
Like,
someone
you're
got
getting
to come.
everything for this game.
But it's one that I'm like, I don't know, maybe this is like investment regret a little bit. It's like, man, we put some dollars into this one, folks. And you know, it's one that like Champions of Midgard is really a cool hybrid game. We always talked about it's kind of the first hybrid between like a Marathrash kind of things you'd expect, dice and things and
that we
fighting,
played at least, yeah,
and like Euro mechanisms like worker placement. And it's one that I think like this is a game that you could play with non-gamers because it'll be pulled in by a cool theme. You get to fight.
You think
stuff.
it's light enough for non-gamers?
I don't think it's super light for non-gamers, but I think you could get them to give it a go because of the theming and stuff, and I think that's valuable. So maybe it's a next step game, it's one that like I have always enjoyed when we played it.
Yeah,
and like we have friends that play, so we have access to it if we want. But it's another one like, man, we had a really cool like decked out version of that one, and like maybe if nothing else, I was like, oh, this is like a couple $100. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, we did.
Let's
we
go
had
now.
everything for it. Yeah, this is a game that like I think we had played a decent amount, and I think I was personally feeling like I'm kind of done with this game. And then we also, one of our good friends really likes this game, so we're always like, if we're ever gonna play it, we're usually playing it with him anyway. And then we just kind of haven't. And there's been recently where I'm like, man, I really want to play it again. And I also like there's a lot of games that we play only once every couple of years just because that's the nature of having a big collection. And also considering what we do, we're always playing different stuff, you know. But it's just one of those things where I'm just like, man, like we did have a big, cool, tricked out version. It is a game where if it's like maybe a next step, maybe a next step, depending on the people, but it's just like, it is such a cool mix. It looks nice. It's just big and crazy, and it's got dice chucking and worker placement. It's just really, really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's one of these, I think we got kind of coal happy, and we're kind of like, we don't play this that much anymore, whatever.
I think part of me wanted to have a spicy game on the list to call. People were like, "Whoa, you're calling that?" And I'm just like, "Heck yeah,
we are."
I'm freaking,
but now
brutal
now
like that.
We kind of wish we
had.
And
I'm like, no, I shouldn't.
Unfortunately,
yeah, Champions is one that we've enjoyed. We will enjoy again. But you know what? With those expansions and stuff, it's a really solid game. And yeah, I'm like. Maybe because we have other games that get played about the frequency we'd play Champions at Midgard, and they're still around. Yeah. So why not Champions?
Why not? Yeah, that's the real talk. All right, that's number 6, Champions. We should have gotten rid of it.
Sorry.
Number 5 is a game that I am legit upset that we got rid of. Because this one I feel like was me giving in to other people, and this is Viral.
Yes.
Viral to this day might still be my favorite area control game. I absolutely love this game. And this is one of those situations where I feel like I like this game more than pretty much everyone else likes this game, you know? And it's one of those situations where like, I tried this a whole bunch of different people. Every single time, it kind of didn't go over great. It's
I don't get
it's a very mean game.
Yeah,
but it's a game where you are germs and you are doing area control in a person's body. So you essentially want to have more of your germs in like the spleen.
You want to be like, I'm rocking the stomach right now. No one's like, I'm taking his brain.
Indeed, and then you can move around the body, move your troops. You know, your germs around the body through like the different veins and arteries and stuff like that.
Arguably, this was a better theme a few years ago, but it's a great theme a few years ago.
Yeah,
great theme a few years ago.
You know, it's like pandemic. You're kind of like, ooh, that happened. You know, but nonetheless, it's like one of those things where it's like, I love it. It's got Mihailo Dmitrievsky art. It's like a really good looking game.
The depictions of the germs are really interesting. They're kind of like these anthropomorphized like little creatures.
They're cute little things. I love this game. I absolutely adore this game, and it just kind of never really went over great with other people. We never really found anyone who liked it as much as, or especially I think I even liked it more than you.
Dude, yeah.
It's like never really found anyone who met our enjoyments. We were kind of like, well, we can't. And I think that's also a fair reason to be like, I like this game, but like I can't play it with anybody because no one wants to play it with me, so I'm gonna get rid of it. And now I'm still kind of like, no, we should have kept it. Dang it! Like I want that game.
It's like
back.
An expansion.
I want
for
it back.
It's really cool looking. It's a nice white box. It's like kind of cool art. So like, it's one of those ones like I'd almost be happy just having it as a collection.
Yes,
piece
I think it's
that
great.
we dust off once in a great while.
I think it's such an interesting concept for this game, and the way like you move your troops around is so interesting and accurate to how like a body works. and stuff. You know, you got to go on top and you got to go out the bottom, you know, and it's just super cool. And it's one of the things where I think we kind of were like, oh, no one likes this game as much, so let's just get rid of it. I'm kind of like, no, we should have kept it, dang it.
Should have advocated for ourselves.
Yeah,
we knew it.
Viral, number 5. I want it back. I think number 4, Mike, was us thinking we wanted something, and it turns out, no, we wanted the original.
I think this was a period of thinking where we kept thinking, like, I want more game. I want more gamery stuff. And now I'm like, I don't want that. This is above and below.
Yeah.
So this got cold.
Yeah.
To be fair, at the same time as its next-gen game, Near and Far, which went a little bit more kind of narrative heavy.
Yes.
Above and Below is a storytelling kind of light game where you're worker placement, you're going around spots, you're getting things, and you kind of do these dives. You have the above area where you're going to different worker spots, getting material stuff, and then you delve below down into these caves where you get a bit of kind of randomly generated story, which will provide you some options of stuff to do. And
choices
then
to make,
that'll give you some sort of loot or some sort of outcome. And we played that and then played Near and Far. We're like, well, Near and Far is like a narrative tale that goes through several stories and stuff in a row. And then obviously Sleeping Gods now takes that to the next level. And I'm still very intrigued by Sleeping Gods.
Yeah.
But there is some beauty to Above and Below where you get to play a game and you pop down, you get some random little cave dwelling adventure, and then you go back up and you come down, there's another different adventure, and they're just kind of contained and beautiful. One game does not at all impact any other games.
All the stories are random. Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to play that game more than I want to have to play through all of Sleeping Gods, for example.
Yeah.
Because, and this is a virtue of the way we play games, the kind of job that we have that you see that we're doing right now. Things like that. It's like, we don't have time or energy or interest a lot of times to just like play a campaign game.
And that's
over
a lot of that's
time.
interest. It's just we tend to like to play a lot of
like
even with take away our job, we like to play a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
We don't generally want to play a game over and over and over again right in a row like that.
No. Sounds terrible.
That's why we played all Gloomhaven in a week, because we're like,
gotta condense it down.
We won't play it otherwise. We need to play it in a week. Check out that video. It's real fun.
It's really fun. So Above and Below gives me those hits of like, I get to be in Ryan Laukatt's world that the designer created. The artistic world is so fun, so interesting, but it's contained in an hour or a 90-minute episode, and then it's done until the next one. And Above and Below, it's beautiful. I think the cover and stuff is like one of the more pretty ones that they made. And I'm like, I think we thought, I need big, I need epic, I need more. And now I'm like, I want less and contained and nice and nice, right? And here, because it's a beautiful thing, and I don't think we realized quite what we had when we got rid of it. I think we had our eyes, moving toward the future and not realizing that like we wanted it back there.
Yeah, it's the case of like, and this just happens with anything, not even just board games. You're like, I think I like this, and then you kind of get down that road, and you're like, I don't like that as much as I thought I did. Like neither one of us are really into campaign games that much, and so I think we were like, oh, this is the kind of game I want. And then we started playing those. We're like, no, I don't know if I do, and then, but we called something. And so Bumbleow's great. I also think it's great for newer people too, because it's got some good story elements, but Bumbleow is really good.
Yeah. It's a cute game. It's beautiful. It just really well rendered. The stories are fun, and it doesn't feel lacking in any way.
It's great.
And I feel like we convinced ourselves that it was lacking.
I think we did.
And I don't think that's correct. So number 4 is Above and Below. Would love to have it back. It'd be back in Ryan Laukatt's world, because now we don't have any. We have no Ryan Laukatt game. Mistakes were made, y'all. Yeah. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3 is on here because we were just two big old dum-dums.
We're too stupid for the world. Okay.
So this is Ticket to Ride Europe specifically. So we have Ticket to Ride Nordic Countries. Love Ticket to Ride Nordic Countries.
Love it.
Like Ticket to Ride Europe, but we usually end up playing Ticket to Ride 2-player. And Ticket to Ride Europe, normal Ticket to Ride the US map, those kind of big maps, they're fine at 2-player, but there's not really as much contention.
Yeah.
So we really like Ticket to Ride Nordic Countries because it's a 2 to 3-player game. That's it. And so it's much tighter. And we're also, our family's from Norway, so we're like, it's
all Christmassy looking.
It looks great. It's beautiful. It's purple. It's awesome. But nonetheless, we got this game and we're like, okay, here's the thing. If we're ever playing Ticket to Ride, we're probably only ever going to play 2 or 3 players. So let's just keep Ticket to Ride Nordic Countries and let's get rid of Ticket to Ride Europe, right? Simple, simple, pimple. And then after we did our call, someone in our Twitch chat was basically like, why didn't you just put the map for Europe in the box for Ticket to Ride Nordic Countries? Why didn't you just take out the insert and just put that game in that one? And you would have saved the same amount of space and kept both games. And we were kind of like,
Oh.
Okay, but what you're saying, but the reason is, no, but because
Idiots.
And we were like, why didn't we just do that? Why didn't we just take out the insert,
'Cause
which is
we're
like not
dumb.
that necessary, and just put the map in that one with the guards,
Bro,
And
we
just
could have had like 5 Ticket to Rides in one box. We made a boo.
you could. They don't take up that much space.
This is like to a point of like legit regret because you're like, you didn't have to do that.
We both like Ticket to Ride Europe.
Yes, I'm like, I really enjoyed that version, and like, we at this
so
point,
easily could have kept it with the same amount of space we have now.
At this point, like, we just hadn't even considered the idea of like combining stuff in
Consolidating
one box.
boxes,
We wanted
yeah.
stuff all in their own boxes. Now I couldn't care less.
God, I can't
If I can get multiple things into the same box, I am
Great.
absolutely doing it. But
It's like a challenge now. I'm like,
Yeah.
what can I get in this box?
How much?
What can I get in this
How
box?
much can I consolidate? Throw the rest away.
Yeah.
So we.
That was one where like, just because it was so silly that we got rid of it, when we so easily could have kept it.
It's just so obvious now. And I'm like, what? You have this box that's like 80% insert and a couple of components. Like,
Yes.
here are the insert. You can put 10 games in there.
Yeah, you really could.
Yeah, we made a mistake, y'all. But
Yeah.
listen, there's like an anniversary version of Europe
I know.
now. Maybe
we'll get that
we're
one.
meant to do that so we can get the new shiny version.
I know. It's so silly. That's our number 3. It's here because it's just like, what were we? Why didn't we? Oh, we're so silly.
Yeah.
It's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
All right, number 2. This game is a roller coaster of emotion for me, Mike Murphy. It's Root, okay?
It is Root.
Pronounced Root in the
Root.
Latin. So, okay. Root is a game.
Take us on your journey, Mike.
A game we enjoy.
Yes.
We enjoyed. Here's the problem. You want to play Root at like 3 or 4 players. You want to go max out player count on that game. It's just more fun. It's area control. It's a warfare game. And it is like a legit war game
It's a light coin game, yeah.
in a woodland setting and stuff. But you don't want to have 1 versus 1. It can be played that way. It's not ideal. Obviously, we're 2 players. So that's why we got rid of Root. We heard that they had announced that they were doing a digital app for Root, which they have done.
Which
and
is
it
really
is
good.
great. So we said, okay, Root, you're gone. So we get rid of Root. They come out with some expansion stuff, which are really cool factions. I'm like, oh, those are kind of fun, man. I
played a couple
I
of
wish
them,
we'd
yeah.
known those. And then they come out with the app, and then the app gives me the opportunity to play the characters. They even have tutorials for characters specifically, so you really learn the characters. And they started to have some of the expansion material, and I started to play it. And I'm like, well, now that I know how to play this game, I want to play it physically. Oh, wait, it's not there anymore, you idiot. And I just like...
It is one of those situations.
Now I
right?
want it back again.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I played the app and I was like, the app's going to slake my thirst. I'm like, no, it makes me thirstier.
Yeah.
For the real thing, and now I don't have it.
Well, that's kind of been proven in the industry that like putting your game digitally does not lessen
good for business.
physical sales, because we're like, I think a lot of people, and let us know down in the comments if you're this way. Like
the analog, man.
It's like, yeah, if I like a game digitally, I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait to play this in the real world. It's just like, it just makes me want to buy the game more, not less. I'm sure there's some people out there like, great, I just get to play it this way. I never need this game. I think the vast majority of people are not like that, and this is kind of situation where I'm like, oh man, now that I've kind of got more root under my boots, you know,
got roots on the boots.
Roots on the boots. That's not whatever. You know, it's a Montana thing. Okay, we're from California.
Listen, you got to watch Yellowstone to get it.
Kevin Costner, everybody. And so it's like one thing. Now that I got more root in my boot, I'm just like, oh god, now I kind of do want to play it physically again, and just because now I understand the game more. What I wish digital came out first.
That would be great.
And then we could have learned it there, and then we purchased the game instead of the other way around.
Because now it feels like it's too late to go back and then like start over and then get all the different characters.
Yeah, it's too much to get all of it
and
right
we have
now.
friends who have it and stuff, but I'm like,
And Root Digital honestly is really good.
It's really good, and they're going to be the material, and I will be fine. But it's like I did not expect that. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is the perfect solution.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, this is the start of your problems.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's a bummer.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah, that's Root. It's number 2.
I hate it.
Number 1 is kind of surprising because when we got rid of this game, we were done. We were done.
We were done. I reckon we were in this era. We were a bit up on our high horse.
Ooh,
You know, we was highfalutin.
We are better than everyone else,
I think
though.
but I think we are at the height of our board game snobbery.
Ooh,
And I feel like maybe
yeah.
some
I think you're probably right.
some
honestly.
humility was found.
I think you're probably right.
And now we're back. You know, we're back down to terra norma, dude.
Yeah.
This is Azul.
Yeah.
This is everyone knows Azul. Azul is classic at this point.
Yeah, it's modern classic.
It's a fantastic game where you are drafting out these acrylic tiles that are just juicy as can be.
Max juice.
And
yeah.
you're
that was like, I feel like not the start of acrylic tiles, but that was one of the first games where people were just like, the components are so amazing, and they're great.
It draws people in, and the fact that this game, which is aimed as kind of a gateway game, it's perfect that it has this beautiful production behind it with these amazing tiles and everything. And you're ultimately trying to put together these kind of rows and columns of similar tiles and stuff, or not similar tiles, but like building out your little mosaic of ceramic bits. And this is one that when we called it, I talked about that I had played it out.
You had played it even more than I had. And you played it a lot.
I played a lot of Azul with people, and I really did play a lot of Azul with people. And at that time, I really was kind of burnt out on Azul. But now time has passed, and we've seen various iterations of Azul come out that all kind of add a little bit of complexity and stuff. Now to the point where even some people are saying like, it's not Azul anymore.
It's not a gateway game anymore. Yeah,
it's not what it once was. And I have found myself kind of clamoring for the original Azul again because it is so playable. It is so charming. It is so pleasing.
It goes over so well.
It's so
with
pretty.
Everybody. Yeah.
Everyone enjoys it. And it's one of those ones that I'm like, you know what? I feel like I should have kept it even if it wasn't for me.
Yes.
Because I could probably hand that game off to people, show them how to play it, and let them play it.
Well, and that thing is like, I'd be like, here, I'll teach you. And then you just let them go. Because the real problem is,
I didn't have to get rid of it.
Azul's biggest benefit is also one of its biggest problems, where it's like, it is so accessible, and people like it so much that people want to play it over and over and over and
we did a lot of that.
And then you bring it to game night. Like, can we play Azul again? And then they play it over and over. And so it's just like, you just play it out. But it's like, part of that's on us, just be like, cool. Y'all can play it. I'm going to go over here. I'll teach you. I'll walk away. I'll go play something else. Yeah, just like, and it's just about being a better gamer in that sense of like, say no. If you don't want to play something, just say no.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard. I understand that it's difficult. It's hard for us too, but it's like, more and more I've been like, just, God, if I don't want to play something, life's too short. Like, why am I playing something I don't want to play? You know? And so it's like, but Azul is one of those we were just like, oh, I'm done with it. Like,
and now I'm like, I could happily play some Azul again. It's been a long time.
And I do think there is some validity to be like, kind of talking about the paperback. It's like, I'm keeping this game for other people. I'm keeping this game because I know it's going to go well with a lot of other people, even if I don't particularly like it. Which means either you can kind of like grit your teeth and get through it if you really don't like it, or you can just be like, I'll teach it, and then you play it, or something like that.
We
like,
play it every once in a while, so when you do play it, you're like you
oh,
remember why it's such a delightful thing, you know?
Yeah, man, I just don't know why we got rid of it. It's just, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know.
Like all of these games on the list, you know, we only have so much space and everything, but it's one of those ones I'm like, we probably didn't have to get rid of it.
There's definitely been other games that are bigger than that game, or at least the same size, that are frankly going to get paid way less, that are way less appealing to more people that we've kept, you know? And it's just like, and again, it's your collection. Keep what you want to keep. But it's just like, sometimes you're kind of like, this is a good game to keep for the people.
Yeah.
You know?
And having some distance from playing Azul and stuff, I'm now reminded like why I was so charmed with it to start, why I was so drawn into it, as were so many other people before and still today were drawn in by Azul.
Yeah.
And you know, it's one of those things I'm like, I think I got Mr. like Big Britches. And I was like, oh, you know, I play other more sophisticated games now.
We play heavy games.
We play heavy games now. It's like, well, maybe I could have like been a little more cool.
we probably were kind of like, Azul's fine. We're over it. It's not that great. It's fine. I think you're right. We were probably at our peak snobbery. And we probably kind of got rid of it for that reason, you know. And we also, when we start culling, we do get very cull happy.
It gets exciting. I swear, it's like just a sweet.
It's invigorating. Cull some of your collection. It's invigorating.
Very good. It's very good. Even if you regret a couple of them later, guess what? We've culled many more games than the 10 you saw on this list.
Yeah.
And these are the only 10 that we really be like, I can keep
we'll
it.
probably keep that.
You know what I mean? And the rest, I'm very happy that we don't have because they're in happy homes now.
They're in happy homes.
They found happy homes. But that's our list of 10, y'all. That's the games that we regret getting rid of.
Yeah, no, there's always some, you know. It's
there
like
will be more in the future.
Stuff. Yeah, you know, sometimes you come back and you're like, oh, I actually really like that.
I liked you.
Oopsies. But no, that's our 10. Down in the comments below, let us know some of the games that you really regret. You're like, man, you know, if I can get that back, I would do it. If I can find it somewhere, I'm going to pick it back up because I do honestly regret getting rid of that game. At the end of every top 10 list, we always scroll by our patrons. We want to give a big shout out to all of our patrons. Thank you so much. You want to check out our Patreon, there'll be a link down in the description below. We do a lot of like Q&A kind of stuff over there on Patreon. And there's going to be some polls and stuff going up soon. But nonetheless, yes, top 10 games we regretted, Mike.
In the comments, again, let us know a game or several games that you regret getting rid of. Where'd they end up? Why would you want it back? Put all that in the comments below.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this video, please thumb it up. It really helps this video get around to other people. It's a humongous help. If you like what we do, want to see more top 10s, playthrough videos and stuff, we'd love for you to consider subscribing.
Yeah, indeed.
And if there's nothing else, man,
That's it.
been Mike.
I'm Nick.
We are the Brothers Murph, and that is the top 10 games we regret getting rid of. See you next time, everybody.
Listen, we all have regrets sometimes, and sometimes you regret not thumbing up this video. So make sure you don't regret that and thumb this video up like we said. It really helps us out a lot, and consider subscribing. We all have regrets, man, but supporting people you enjoy who their content does not have to be a regret of yours. You can support us on Patreon or by watching our stuff and telling a friend. Even if you're like, man, this list is terrible, that's fine by us. We want to thank all of our Season 5 sponsors. We've got Lucky Duck Games, Restoration Games, and the almighty Board Game Geek. Go to all those places for your best board game goodness. We also want to thank Nike Nick, a Season 5 sponsor of the month of June, specifically. Think about Nike Nick, all right? My Nike Nick, I'm not going to lie, wears those foot shoes as a protest against Nike the brand. It's like, I wear those weird monkey shoes, not because they're comfortable. They're not because they get me into the highest of social circles. They certainly do not. They're not Crocs. They're not shoes. They're not slippers. What are they? Nike Nick has the answer, but Nike Nick keeps them secret, and that's why we love them. Thank you for being a June sponsor, everyone. We love you very much. Get in the comments with your favorite board game regrets. What do you wish you still had that you got rid of? What have you grown wise to? Hit us up in the comments. Cha!